Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Pokemon Alpha Sapphire. In the last part, we started off the post-game by starting off the Delta episode, and now we're going to continue our way on through the journey for it. In specific, it's time for us to hit up Meteor Falls and fully explore the area, not only as a part of the Delta episode, but also in general, because we've been able to technically explore this place in depth since we had access to Waterfall properly. I just saved it for now so I could take care of most of the birds with one stone, so to speak. Not quite all of them, but most of them. Worth noting, I'd say it's especially worthwhile to explore this place in post-game, both here in the remake and in Emerald specifically, but I'd recommend waiting on it in Emerald because, in the furthest reaches of the cave in Emerald lies the game's super boss, and frankly, if you just cleared the Elite Foreign Champion, you're not going to be in a position level-wise to take care of that easily. I think there are technically some order of operations before you can technically do that fight, but worth noting all the same. What's especially worth noting about coming here when you can first get Waterfall potentially is that if you wanted a Bagon into its evolution chain, Shelgon and Salamence on your team, you would need to reach the furthest back room of this place to actively add that to your team, and given how good of a dragon type that is, even discounting its status as a pseudo-legendary, worth noting that might be a strategy you want to do. So while we're in here on our way to our active destination, I do want to take a moment to talk about Mewtwo as well as their two Mega Evolutions since we've gotten both stones as of this point. Especially considering if I don't talk about them now, we're going to start getting a lot of Mega Stones really quickly here, so I'm going to be running out of time to talk about them. But first off, let's talk about the new Pokemon Battle Girl Tess has here. This is Mienshao, a Gen 5 pure fighting type, so it's weak to Flying, Psychic, and Fairy. Mienshao, being a second stage Pokemon, of course, has a higher stat threshold. In specific, it has a ridiculously high physical attack stat, decent special attack, and great speed, while its defenses and HP aren't the strongest. Ability-wise, you can have Inner Focus, Regenerator, or Reckless, all of which we've talked about before, and all of which are incredibly usable. The big shortcoming of it is that, like several other Gen 5 Pokemon that are really good when they evolve, they take forever to evolve. Mienshao evolves from Mienfoo specifically at level 50, which is damn near endgame in a lot of cases, depending on how much you're doing along the way. So at this point, let's talk about Mewtwo and their Mega Evolutions. Base Mewtwo, we're all pretty familiar with it in some form at this point. Pure Psychic type, so it's weak to Bug, Ghost, and Dark. Standard Mewtwo is one of the strongest Pokemon from the original Generation 1. Absurd special attack, great speed, great attack, great HP. Its weaknesses are its defenses, but even then, they're still really usable. But, like Charizard, it actively got two Mega Evolutions depending on what version you actively play. Mega Mewtwo X and Mega Mewtwo Y. Each Mega Stone locked to the original version in question, though Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire allow you to get both. I'm going to start by talking about Mega Mewtwo Y, but we're actively coming up on the cutscenes we're technically here to see, so I'll talk more about that as we explore the other reaches of this dungeon afterwards. Kyle, we have the Meteorite Shard, and I've come to understand many things as I suspected might happen. Allow me to introduce you. The honorable lady you see before you is a descendant of the ancient Draconids.
Yes, I am one of the Draconid people. One of those ancient folk tasked with passing down the knowledge of Mega Evolution, with the great lore of Lord Rayquaza, who was the beginning of all. Since times long gone, Hoenn has repeatedly suffered great disasters. At times, the destruction took the form of a huge meteoroid, which fell upon our land from distant space. At other times, the primal reversions of our own super-ancient Pokemon brought us to the brink of destruction. Each time, Lord Rayquaza has saved us from doom. The chosen Lorekeeper, standing before a stone that shone with rainbow light, offered up a wish to the Great One. And Lord Rayquaza's body was suffused with the brilliant light and transformed. In its transformed state, Rayquaza's power was more devastating than ever before, overcoming even the super-ancient Pokemon with all their primal power.
A rainbow-colored stone. An invocation from the Lorekeeper? And a Rayquaza unlike any ever seen. I see. It does resemble what we know of the process of Mega Evolution.
Yes, it does indeed. A Pokemon, a person, a stone of power. The bonds that tie them all together. The transformation of the Pokemon that occurs as a result of this phenomenon was called Mega Evolution by later peoples.
So the mechanism for Mega Evolution was discovered as a result of the first meeting between humanity and Rayquaza. But I have one last question. That Lorekeeper you spoke of.
The Lore Keeper is the one who has inherited the knowledge and power to summon Lord Rayquaza when disaster imperils this world. The true Lore Keeper of the current generation is the one called Zinnia. The disaster that now approaches our planet, as it has twice before. Zinnia has been trying for some time to avert it in her own way. To draw Lord Rayquaza to our sphere, she joined a certain organization that sought to revive the super ancient Pokémon. She taught them the secrets needed to bring back these threats and summon the great dragon itself. And now it seems she travels the land, scouring the world for keystones.
So it was true. As I had suspected, that woman who appeared at the Space Center was one of the Draconids. But I never dreamed she was involved in the attempted revival of the super ancient Pokémon. In full knowledge of the power they held, fully understanding the terrible changes they would wreak upon our world. Still, she helped bring that situation about? Didn't she give a thought to the many people in Pokémon whose lives were put at grave risk by her actions? Could she accept the inevitable sacrifice of so many lives in order to protect the planet from the coming meteoroid?
Balance must rule this world. History is doomed to repeat itself. While our people have overcome many disasters in the past, it was always through great sacrifice. Yet, we have continued to struggle to preserve peace for as many years as we can. That is how we have protected this world upon which we now live. People, Pokémon, all nature, and yes, even you. I do not know exactly what you plan to do, but do you believe that you are not sacrificing anything for your own protection? Zinnia will follow her convictions until the very end, even knowing the sacrifices that they will require. Even if the sacrificial blade is leveled at her own heart.
Is that right? I understand. Thank you for everything. What is this vague sense of apprehension? And my intuition has often proven true. I'm going back to Rustboro first. I have to get back to Devon. Well, that's a whole lot to think about, isn't it?
That silver-haired dreamboat said he was headed back to Rustboro.
Grammy! He's like half your age, at minimum! Come on! Our role needed here for plot is done, but there's still a couple of items I want to go grab and showcase the room where you can actively catch Bagons in case you want to. But worth noting, actively drop down this way so you can find yourself the Aerodactylite, allow you to Mega Evolve Aerodactyl. We'll be seeing one of those in the near future, so I'll save talking about that one until then. So going back to Mewtwo and their Mega Evolutions. The poster child of the two Mega Evolutions is Mega Mewtwo Y, which keeps Mewtwo as a pure Psychic type, so it's still weak to Bug, Ghost, and Dark. In going through the Y Mega Evolution, Mewtwo gains a total of 40 physical attack, 40 special attack, 30 special defense, and 10 speed at the cost of 20 physical defense. Worth noting, that puts Mega Mewtwo Y with almost 200 special attack, making it one of the highest statted special attackers in the series. Ability-wise, it goes from giving Mewtwo either Pressure or Unnerve as the base Mewtwo's abilities into Insomnia, so it can't be put to sleep either. Dragon Claw TM over here, and worth noting, this is the room where you can actively find Bagons. Meanwhile, the X Mega Evolution actively gains a subtype. It's now a Psychic Fighting type, meaning it is weak to Flying, Ghost, and Fairy. In doing this Mega Evolution, Mewtwo gains 80 physical attack, 10 physical defense, and 10 special defense with no outright retractions. That, again, puts that physical attack stat at almost 200, one of the strongest in the franchise. And also changes Mewtwo's ability over to Steadfast, so anytime it gets flinched, its speed just raises and raises. Both of these are really good Mega Evolutions, but it's like they just were like, alright, here's this superpowered Pokemon. Now it has a gun that shoots 2 flavored bullets. This does kind of lead into something I briefly brought up earlier when talking about Mega Evolutions, where either fan favorites got Megas, or Pokemon that were already strong instead of Pokemon that were weakened and could have used the boost. Because while there were some that got that, like, say, Sableye, Mewtwo did not need a Mega outside of the iconography of it all, and I'm just not the fan of it because of that. Ah! Ouch!
Oh! You're that fantastic trainer who helped me before.
Yo, geek!
Ah, you've got to help me, please! Whoa, you're the trainer kid I met before.
Ah, you get in my way again. Been a while since we actively did some Team Aqua battles properly, huh? With that said, it's the same stuff. We're gonna see some Mighty Hyenas, some Coughings, and all that. You're used to it at this point. Even without the likely upwards of 10 to 20 level difference you're probably seeing at this point, they're not gonna be a threat, really. Am I destined to lose to you all the time? Yes. What's wrong, Grunt? What, you again? Fine. Sure, I know I can't win, but I'm gonna challenge you for Matt. You know, I appreciate the show of solidarity and friendship. Feels like we don't see that in the world as much as we probably should, especially in very, very specific areas, regions, and fields, so to speak. Sound the retreat. It's only good sense to save my own hide for Matt's sake. Also knowing when to run, good idea. I'm hungry, so I'm going back. Ah! Well, my stomach's ready for battle, because it's rumbling. 3-4-3. You know, you'd think what seems to be a tech giant like Devin would have a more ample security force to stop people from breaking in like this, but given how idealized Pokemon is as a society by and large, it's probably just not needed for them. I'm thinking about it. Most of the time you see security, it's usually actually like an evil area now that I think about it, huh? I lost, like I figured. I'm gonna go get some food on the way back. Hey, grab me some too. Thank you. You helped me again. As my thanks, I'll give you another great Oh, now is not the time for this! We're in big trouble. Team Aqua stole the control device for the link cable that our company has been developing. It's a special tool called the Dimensional Shifter. The person who stole it was a huge man with bulging muscles. What shall I do? What would you do? What shall I do? They must have headed for the Moss Deep Space Center. Steven must have gone ahead to the Space Center, but I'm worried. Well, time for us to head back over there then, I suppose. Back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Found them. Let's go, grunts. You know, I'd say that seems like too many people to take care of this, but given how few people are actively in the Space Center, and again, the lack of security, honestly, it's probably the right amount of people by most standards. Don't want to overcrowd things, potentially might make things worse for your own group. We finally meet again. It's been 3. How long has it been? Nincompoop, it doesn't matter. Brace yourself, we won't let you call us mere quintuplets. You know, I'd make a quintessential quintuplets joke, but I've actually never read or watched that series, so I don't even know what it's actively about. We got another horde battle of sorts against these Aqua Grunts, and I'm gonna keep it in because, well, it's only like the 3rd time I've mostly seen horde battles, and it's rare enough, it's worth it to me. With that said, good to have something like Earthquake or Surf, so you don't need to worry about anything going wrong here. The worst case about this fight, actually, is that since it's 5 Mighty Hyenas, you're down at -5 physical attack by default. Sort of like, what, just under 33% our base attack here. So in that regard, actually, for this fight, it's probably better to use Surf than Earthquake and things like that, or other multi-targeting special-type moves in the case you got them. Honestly, good to always have at least one of each in your party, in my eyes, and Earthquake's always a good fill-in for the physical slot there. Oh, no. We lost. Again. I knew we would lose. I wanted to win in style like the Hoenn Rangers. It's odd. That strategy, intimidate 5 times in a row, should be invincible. Did you cheat? Nincompoop, stop whining. Matt's on the 2nd floor. It's pathetic, but we can't stop him. Please, please stop him. I do like how especially it feels like starting around, I guess technically Gen 2. We did start getting some more unique personalities amongst the Team Grunts, even if they don't exactly have unique designs. The one Grunt in Kanto and Johto is the one I'm thinking of there, but it really did start especially hard in Gen 4 memory. Your timing is impeccable as always, Kyle. Team Aqua, what do you intend to do with that device? You do realize that this is the last hope we have of saving this planet? What was that? What? Last hope? I ain't laughing one bit, punk. My bro whom I loved so much. Are you trying to tell me that everything we've done up till now, the ties that bind us, All of it was a mistake? My bro has changed since he got mixed up with you. How convenient it must be for you to put all the blame on one other. Shut it! I'm... Know what? That rocket's full of crazy amounts of energy. It's even more awesome than the ultimate weapon that ended the war 3,000 years ago, right? What? If I use this keystone I found in Meteor Falls, I can force the energy inside the rocket to explode. It'd be like Mega Evolution for the rocket. Who needs a meteoroid? I'm gonna bring an end to all things with my own power. The one who will complete Project Azoth and take the world back to its beginnings is me. Kyle, this fool. This incredible fool really intends to do it. If we don't stop this now, our whole world will be embroiled in the destruction. You're ready to battle, aren't you? Of course! Wonderful. Ooh, ha! I'm gonna smash you up! Time for our final encounter with Matt, and he ultimately actively kind of bookends himself here, because like our first encounter with him when we first met the Latios, he once again has the Team Aqua Grunt with him. Matt still only has a Sharpedo with Rough Skin, Poison Fang, Crunch, Agility, and Skull Bash, while the Team Aqua Grunt has a Mighty Enema with Quick Feet, Taunt, Takedown, Crunch, and Sucker Punch, and a Muck with Stench, Screech, Venom, Drench, Gunk Shot, and Acid Armor. That Muck could be an issue with how high they can make their defense pretty quickly with Acid Armor, but because we got Steven along for the ride, you don't have many turns to worry about them being able to set stuff up. Worth noting, though, Matt / his counterpart over in Omega Ruby actively have the Mega Stone for either Sharpedo or Camerupt, so this is the point you're finally going to run into either of their Mega Evolutions. With that said, I largely went over these already. By and large, one thing to note is that this makes Sharpedo an even better attacker, and given that the ability changes to Strong Jaw, their bite attacks are going to do even more absurd damage. But since their defenses still aren't the best, not the hardest thing to take out of the world. Thinking on it, I do find it kind of interesting how the original Gen 3 is where doubles were introduced, and that largely became the standard format for multiplayer against actual other players moving forward. But they've only really done doubles-based games twice in spin-offs on the GameCube as an optional mode in the sides of games usually, but then you didn't get real story focus on it again until really the second Scarlet and Violet DLC, which maybe is them pushing towards doing a little bit more high-level play options in games moving forward. It'll be interesting to see what they do with that maybe in not Scarlet and Violet, in Legend ZA, that's the word, considering the radically different combat mechanics there, but I guess we'll have to wait and see because it's currently mid-July, and that game doesn't release for another 3 months, which I'd hope by then I have this LP wrapped in terms of the actual recording and editing. I've been working on this only since technically, end of February, early March? I don't want to think about it. This is the most time I've put into an LP in this regard in a while. I even think Soul Silver was faster to record and edit. But again, that's largely because I wasn't employed at the time, which, well, can't do much about that. Either way, this little mini-boss against a Team Aqua Grunt that Matt also happens to be fighting alongside is over, and thus it's time for us to move back on with this side plot. I know I wouldn't win, but... Hey now! You're an all-star? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Dang it! Am I not good enough, bro? Kyle, now's our chance. Take the dimensional shifter and... What? Aster snatched the dimensional shifter away from Matt? That Pokemon, doesn't it belong to... Nice one, Aster. You're the Draconid, yep. Or you could just call me Zinnia. Aster. Thank you, dear. Now then... That is an impressive machine. Snap your finger, the asteroid vanishes, and we all live happily ever after. Indeed, it's like the former champ said. This thing is the best hope we have of saving this planet and everything on it. But you know, it could also be the worst tragedy imaginable for some other world and everything on it. What are you trying to say? I'm not talking to you. You don't get it. Ugh. But you, Kyle, hope for our world, tragedy for another. You get it, don't you? I think I do. And you come through again. You never disappoint me. My people know it. From generation to generation, we pass along the lore about the distortions in the world born by the Mega Evolution mechanism. And about the existence of another world, which we have long observed to be just like this one and yet not the same. That's right.
A Hoenn region that's almost exactly like this one we live in. Filled with Pokemon and people like us. A world where maybe the evolution of Pokemon took a slightly different path, where Mega Evolution is unknown. A world where that war 3,000 years ago never happened. A world where the ultimate weapon was never even built. And in that Hoenn of that world, what would happen if, one day, out of the blue, a meteoroid appeared? What would happen to the people of that world without the technology to destroy the meteoroid or the power to warp it away? Looks like it's beyond the power of your imagination. What kind of fool are you? You have no substantive proof, and yet you claim another world just like our own exists? Out of this fantasy, you've destroyed our only hope!
What have you done?
Farewell, brief hope. Do you even know? Now what are we going to do? Calm down there, Professor. It'll be okay. We can protect this world and the other.
Who exactly is we? What are your intentions?
Oh yeah, silly me. I forgot the other thing I came for.
Huh?
And that's the keystone gotten. Now I'll put it together with the keystone they've gotten their base. Looks like my next appointment's calling, so I'll excuse myself now. Later.
That punk! How dare she try to take my bro Archie's keystone? Not cool, man. Not cool. Confound it all. So she must be making for Team Aqua's hideout next. Think, Steven, think. What to do, what to do. So, pretty clear where we need to go next. We need to head back to Team Aqua or Team Magma's base, depending on which version you're playing. In specific, we need to go to the room we found the Master Ball in, Archie/Maxie's room, all the way in the back near that little teleport maze. With that said, you do need to walk not only all the way back through to it, a lot of the Team Aqua or Magma Grunts are back in there, and they actively are battleable again. So not a bad plan to potentially bring some lower level Pokemon in, potentially if you're trying to do evolutions and all that. But it does lead to this being a little bit of a trek, and I'm just going to speed the entire thing up because this area is large enough where I don't want to just walk all the way through it, but it's straightforward enough where we don't need to cut past it. You know what I mean? Now, I do remember that whole conversation there, as well as a little bit of a similar one in the main Gen 6, was a bit of a source of controversy back when these games first launched. If only because Gen 6 is a bit of a departure from something specific in Gen 1 through 5, where all those games were in one distinct world, where everything could be heard about and impacted in other games in some way. Like, you saw people talk about events in prior games or hint towards it. Gen 6 Beyond starts happening in almost different dimensions every single game, and while the other regions and events may still exist, they use it as a way to kind of explain away any potential differences or things not brought up in a way that can be kind of deflating, I won't lie. Ugh.
Alright, and the winner is Zinnia.
Archie, are you okay? I'll be keel-hauled. How did I get beat by this little slip of a girl?
Oh, what's this? Aren't you a happy girl, Esther? Just what I expected, my daughter. We're so in sync.
You. Who are you?
Who am I? That's a surprisingly difficult question. I couldn't become who I was supposed to be, so who does that make me now? Whatever, right? Enough with the introspection and the soul-searching. You there, Kyle, don't just stand there like a stick in the mud. Come on over and say hi.
You? Scamp? But why are you?
Isn't it obvious? He's the hero, right? Here to save the world again. Oops, but looks like he's a bit too late this time. If only you'd been here just 1 minute earlier.
What? You are really good about grabbing those.
Archie, hang in there. There now, I'd say this keystone is mine. We finally got everything, Aster. Now we can do it. The summoning.
We will summon Rayquaza.
Well then, looks like my job here is done, so don't mind me while I excuse myself. Oh, Kyle? I really hope you'll come chasing after me, you know. We'll be heading to that ancient tower sealed since primal times, the Sky Pillar. If you don't know what that is, well, ask that former champ of yours. He'll know what I'm talking about. Find me there. Oh, man. What makes her think she could just do whatever she wants and then hightail it out of here?
Little scamp. Fine. I guess it's just fate that you showed up now of all times. Shelly, give it to the kid.
What? Is that okay?
Yeah. What can I do with a Megastone anyway now that I've lost my Keystone?
I understand. And thus we finally get either a Sharpedo Knight or a Camera Uptight, depending on which version you're playing. The Sharpedo Knight. Make sure your Sharpedo holds onto it tightly.
You take my power, scamp. I'm giving it to you. That woman. I don't think she's just any old trainer, not with the way she controlled those Dragon-type Pokemon of hers. I got no idea what she's planning. But I think you're our best bet at stopping her now, little scamp. Do that for me.
I think I eventually put the Sharpedo Knight on Chris, but it's far from a main item I'll use on him.
Kyle, are you alright? Is that right? I never even imagined. The Keystone, the Sky Pillar, and the Draconid people. So that's it. I begin to see the line connecting these dots. I think we need to meet up at once to discuss what we should do next. I'll be waiting at the Space Center, up on the 2nd floor. Do hurry.
We were just there, and now we gotta go all the way back. Well, I would say this is largely my favorite of this type of post-game in the series. It also probably has the greatest amount of back and forth between regions across the map from one another. That is a benefit that I will say, especially the X and Y variant of this has, where you're just stuck in one city pretty much from my memory of it.
Kyle, I've been expecting you. Ah, that's it. That woman, that Zinnia. She mentioned the Sky Pillar. Few can enter it, only the successors of the ancient world who know what has been. The lore keepers who are tasked with passing on that knowledge to those who come after. Do you remember Wallace, whom you met in Sutopolis?
Yeah, pretty easily.
Is that right? That is a relief. The gym leader of Sutopolis, Wallace, should know how to undo the seal on the Sky Pillar's entrance. He is also one of the few humans who have inherited such ancient lore. I will remain here and work with the professor and his team to devise a plan for what to do next. That woman, Zinnia, I cannot put my faith in her. We will think of a new way to stop the meteoroid on our own. Zinnia and the Sky Pillar. I will leave them in your hands. I will send a message to Wallace for you so he knows to help. You will probably find him in the Cave of Origin in Sutopolis.
Alright, finally a new destination. So once I get downstairs, I'm going to jump cut over to Sutopolis, and specific the loading zone where the Cave of Origin is specifically in the back of the city. Hello, that was quick. What a glorious turn of events.
Is it really? Is it really?
To think that this tree... I never knew we received it from that huge man who visited from the Kalos region. Goodness me, old master. This has been a learning experience. I thank you for this.
Oh, you're too kind, Master Wallace.
Oh, no, you're too modest. Now then, welcome again to Sutopolis, our new champion, Kyle. Stephen has told me everything. Do you wish to go to the Sky Pillar? It is true the cave that leads to the Sky Pillar can only be opened by the hand of someone descended from the ancient people of Sutopolis, as, indeed, am I. Or by one of the Draconids, who have also lived in Hoenn since ancient times. The Sky Pillar is in fact an altar built for the ascension of Rayquaza, the legendary Pokémon long said to have been the protector of the Hoenn region. Only the ancient Draconid people know how to summon Rayquaza to the Sky Pillar. Stephen has told me of the woman Zinnia. She must be trying to revive Rayquaza for some purpose. I shall go first to the Sky Pillar. When the preparations are complete, come join me. The Sky Pillar towers over everything upon one of Route 131's small islands. And thus we have our next destination. But with that, I'm going to need to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching, and in part 33, we approach the end of the Delta episode. See you guys then.